Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Three Buck Theater, and we're a couple days out from the season one finale of The Mandalorian, and I just want to take a few minutes to talk about it because, in my opinion, professional and otherwise, The Mandalorian is hands down the best show of 2019. It did more to reignite a fan base than quite literally anything else I have seen. We know that there have been some shows that have come out and wrapped up this year, like Big Bang Theory, which was, well, kind of what it was, I guess. We saw Game of Thrones end, which was very divisive amongst fans, and it still spurs a lot of online conversations and fights. And then we've also seen shows like Watchmen come out and attempt to remix what we knew from the source material and kind of meld it a little bit with the movie to better than expected results at the end of the day. It's a great show. You should really check it out. But The Mandalorian has basically come in and brought it all together. And a lot of that has to do, quite frankly, with Baby Yoda. Not only just Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda brings in the normies because Baby Yoda is like a cute kitten, like the cute kitten videos and cute kitten memes that we've seen on the internet for the last 10 years or so. They exist. Remember when Catterday was a thing, right? When are we going to get Yoda Day? Like, what day is that? Fridays now? Yoda Day? Spread the memes. But a lot of people out there really just love the character of Baby Yoda. And I've watched some interviews with people who know of Baby Yoda, but who aren't Star Wars fans, who haven't seen The Mandalorian, but love Baby Yoda on their timeline feeds on social media because of how cute it is. And that is what I refer to as such an impressive and amazing subconscious bomb that could effectively go off and bring more people into the fandom, bring them into being Star Wars fans. And that's another factor as to why The Mandalorian is the best show of 2019, hands down. Because what you have here, just from a fan perspective, we have an unnamed Mandalorian warrior coming in from a tribe that we know nothing about, who doesn't have a signet but was a foundling, who very much cares deeply about protecting the identity and protecting the heritage of the Mandalorians, right? This is the way, and he follows it to a T. No one can see him without his helmet on, and if he does, he can never put it back on. And so there's basically all of the things he does as a way to keep his identity, and his identity is very much wrapped up in that particular tribe. And as we get to the end of the season and you learn which kind of tribe maybe it came from, it explains a lot more if you've seen Rebels or if you've seen Clone Wars specifically. And that was a Dave Filoni creation, Dave Filoni world building, and Dave Filoni was an executive producer and a director of 2 of the episodes. So we know that there is a massive connection to other elements of Star Wars lore inside of The Mandalorian. And so if you are just an ancillary fan who maybe doesn't watch the Clone Wars or watch Star Wars Rebels, now if you've gotten to the end of The Mandalorian, you're going, whoa, what is that thing? You might go back and check it out. You're going to want to go back and watch those particular series. Now, I do recommend if you go into Clone Wars, go on to StarWars.com and find the chronological viewing order and watch it that way. It makes it so much easier to get through. Otherwise, if you just go head on, the first couple seasons are rough. But if you're watching it chronologically, it's fantastic. It really, really, really is. And it goes to show you that they've always wanted to tell stories in this type of long format. Now, the way The Mandalorian worked in regards to its format was very fascinating. You had the first episode at around 38, 40 minutes, the second episode at about 27 minutes. It jumped around, just different lengths across the board. Each episode after episode 3 felt like its own kind of vignette, one that wasn't tying into the overall story arc, while still kind of moving Mando's story forward. And it became a little bit tiresome for some people. They felt that it was kind of, taking its sweet time to get there. But as we get to the last 2 episodes, we bring it back to that and we end on such an insanely high note. The budget that Disney put forward with this show really does back up what they believe in regards for pushing Star Wars content on Disney Plus. And that is where we're going to see a renaissance of content. The success of Mandalorian is going to give us more shows, more streaming shows on that platform, and perhaps even maybe Hulu, because if they go into any more of the kind of maybe adult side of things, and they might, depending on how violent Cassian Andor gets, which I would assume based off of Rogue One, it might get a little bit on the violent side. And they're going to take it and they're going to tell more lore and more stories with this platform because they know that it's a success. Long form storytelling works better than episodic movies. And I think we're at a point now where cable TV has proven that it is better suited for Star Wars than the theatrical run. And I'm not sitting there saying that I don't want to see any movies coming out. I do. 3 years is a long time to wait. But with also what Iger has said about possibly bringing Mandalorian or other Disney Plus shows and characters to the big screen seems like a solid way of moving forward. And yeah, it does. I mean, that's just like, that's what people want. They want to watch it on the small screen and then they want to go to the theater. It's a way to really kind of double dip and get that money out of people, right? That $7 a month that they spend for Disney Plus is going to translate into like $50 to $100 in movie ticket sales from that one family. So it's a way to get more money, never mind selling off the merch and everything else. Again, baby Yoda merch is what everybody wanted for Christmas, but Disney opted to hold back on that in order to ramp up the demand and then to meet it with the supply. I mean, as far as business tactics go, Disney did an amazing job on that one. Although just think about how many kids would have been happier than hell to get a baby Yoda under the tree. I'm just saying, there's all that. But when you look at the overall aspect of what The Mandalorian is, right? When you look at the idea of what they created, they took a show with a nameless Mandalorian and they built lore around him. They started touching on the finer points of the lore of the Mandalorians, of what potentially could be from a bit of the EU or from other things that have been created television-wise. They expanded the canon in new ways. They gave us new and interesting characters. They brought in new and interesting directors. Deborah Chow is an absolute fan favorite. People love her work on episodes 3 and episode 7, and she's going to be handling the entire Obi-Wan series that's going to be coming in 2021, and it's shooting here in a few months. So what that tells me, based upon her 2 absolutely amazing kick-ass episodes, is, oh my God, the Obi-Wan show is going to be probably the coolest thing ever. And not only that, we got Taika Waititi directed an episode. Dave Filoni finally got a direct live action. He's still a little rocky around the edges, but he's getting there. Jon Favreau is going to direct an episode out of season 2, and they're going to also tie it into other characters that take place in that time period after the events of Return of the Jedi. We've heard rumors and we've heard talks about the possibility of a Lando Calrissian show. And if you've seen The Rise of Skywalker, there's a certain setup in there, a certain line of dialogue he talks about where he was with somebody else on another mission. And I've said multiple times that that particular person, Luke Skywalker, would end up ultimately being an interesting take for a show, because we as fans may not have liked where Mark Hamill was or where Luke Skywalker was with the sequel trilogy, but giving us, let's say, Sebastian Stan as a young post-Jedi Luke Skywalker who is going off seeking out old Jedi relics in an attempt to not only hunt down the remaining Imperials, but to also go out and rebuild the Jedi Academy and the Jedi Temple, and going down that path, that could be pretty fascinating. That one little tidbit in The Rise of Skywalker really kind of opened up the mind, if you will, for where those kind of stories could go. And if they create like an MCU style program within Disney Plus, that again is going to be fascinating. And I think Kevin Feige's involvement in an upcoming Star Wars movie, if not the entirety of the Star Wars property, is again going to then give us what we want, right? Favreau and Feige, the 3 Fs, Favreau, Feige, Filoni, right? There we go. That's the holy trinity right now, right? Those guys, Favreau and Feige, built the MCU. They built it in mind with expanding it outward. If they come together to develop Star Wars content, and I do believe that they are going to be doing Star Wars, the next movie will be directed by Favreau. I believe that. I've talked to my sources that's what they've told me, but again, grain of salt, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what goes on with that, but I think it's kind of leaning towards that in general. What we're going to see here is a situation where it just feels like they're going to be building it outward in order to make sure that they follow what the MCU has already done before it. They've learned from their mistakes and applying it to Star Wars. Now, people out there have said that there's Star Wars fatigue, right? They've asked that question. Do we live in an age of Star Wars fatigue? Is there too much too quick? The answer to that is simply no. It all boils down to good content and good stories. As I pointed out multiple times, what we have here is a situation where you've got, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which was, oh my God, so good. Rise of Skywalker, which I really liked. Mandalorian, which everyone seems to love. Star Wars Resistance, which has its core fan base. And you got Star Wars comics and Star Wars books. Disney has provided so much Star Wars content content in the fall of 2019, fall and winter of 2019, that it's a very good time to be a fan. Your mileage may vary on what content you like, but you can't deny that they have really kind of scattershotted everything that ties into where things are going to be going next. And since Iger wants to slow down and focus on smaller individual stories like what's going to be happening with Disney Plus, The Mandalorian is now paving the way for that to be a reality. So when I also say that it's the most important show of 2019, it's also that because it is going to be basically forcing Disney's hand into restructuring Star Wars and to doing it with the smaller, more intimate stories in mind that fans are going to lose their mind over. And I think with everyone loving Baby Yoda and with everyone loving the finale of Mandalorian and with only a few naysayers out there, really, what we're going to see now is the future, and the future is going to be Disney Plus. And as I've said multiple times, and I got kind of clowned on when I said it, but I stand by it, Disney Plus is what is going to be what ultimately saves Star Wars. They're going to be able to take their time, tell interesting stories with interesting characters, introduce those characters, and then send them up to the big leagues for the movie, just like Marvel is doing. And guess what? Everyone's excited for Moon Knight to make his way to the big screen. Maybe not everyone's excited for Miss Marvel to make her way to the big screen, but Blade could be a show or could be a movie. I mean, who knows what it's going to be? But the possibilities for Star Wars are practically endless. And we're in an age right now where we're no longer attached or tethered to the Skywalker Saga. Not to say that we shouldn't be in some aspect. I still love those characters. And if we ever went back to that, I would want to see what they come up with. But we're past that now. Now the future is wide open. You can go anywhere you want. And with The Mandalorian showing us that you can, and they have the technology to do it and the budget to do it and the talent behind it, it just only backs up my point that The Mandalorian is the most important show of 2019. But I'm curious to know your thoughts, your opinions. Let me know down in the comments below. If you made it this far, go ahead and type Baby Yoda into the comments section. I want to know that you guys made it. Also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click on the notification bell. If you want to get in further on the action, come over to the Discord, which an ad for that's going to run right now. Hey, thank you very much for watching the video. If you want to keep the conversation going, and if you made it this far, you clearly do, come on in and join the Discord. Link is in the video description. Can't wait to see you there. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.